What's up, guys? This is Ray, and welcome to Asian Filmist. And I have a review of this month's Patreon-sponsored video. And the movie I'll be reviewing for you guys today is a 2018 film, Shoplifters, directed by Koreeda Hirokazu, one of the best directors in Japan who is still working today. And it stars Lily Franky, Ando Sakura, Kiki Kirin, and heaps of other well-talented performers. And I gotta say, Shoplifters, I think it's a film that demands attention. I mean, Koreeda's other films, I think they all deserve an equal amount of attention, but this film in particular, and that is because this is the winner of Cannes Festival's Palme d'Or, which, from what I understand, is the highest prize they can ever reward any given film. So the story of Shoplifters, well, not necessarily the story. I think when it comes to Koreeda's film, it's really hard to describe the story, but rather, it's easier to describe the premise. And the premise of the film is that it focuses on this family of shoplifters, as the title says it, as the title explains. The Japanese title of Shoplifters is Manbiki Kazoku, which essentially means shoplifting family. It's about this, family who lives in poverty, and they do anything they can to get by, and that includes shoplifting. And they also do other things like extorting cash from distant relatives, straight up fraud, even robbing cars for stuff that was left inside. They do anything they can to get by. And that's because money's tight. They don't have consistent income. They get by on the grandmother's pension. They also get by on what limited work they can get. The dad does odd jobs doing construction work. Mom works at some kind of dry cleaners. So the story follows this family as they go through trials and hurdles that life can throw at them. So plain and simple, the positives I have with Shoplifters is simply everything. I absolutely loved Shoplifters. I mean, I love all of Koreeda's films, but this one was especially great. And I think it starts with the direction, the way the story was brought to life. For us to enjoy. Like, everything was fantastic. The story was engaging from minute one. I don't think there was a moment I felt tired or that I wanted to leave my seat. I was glued to the screen from beginning to end. And this film was loaded with the right kind of star power that's necessary for this film. Of course, we have regulars of Koreeda's films, and that includes Lily Franky and Kiki Kirin, who play the father and the grandmother respectively. And we have other talented stars like Ando Sakura, and even the actors who play the children. Everyone was fantastic at delivering their respective performances. And something that I enjoy a lot about Koreeda's films, or rather Koreeda's characters, is that he can make his characters and the actors who perform them just so natural. Everything just felt natural. Like, when it comes to delivering dialogue, it's not a whole thing of like, okay, I start my words and you go after I'm finished. It's everyone kind of just speaks at the same time. Well, not all the time, but the way everyone interacts with each other, the way that characters deliver their dialogue, it just feels natural, feels real. Like, these are real characters, these are real people having conversations. And with these kind of natural performances, on top of that, you get a lot of multi-layered and nuanced characters that are brought to life perfectly on screen. Everyone from, Lily Franky, he plays the charming, kind of easygoing dad, and Ando Sakura, who's kind of the down-to-earth, honest, and also tough as hell mom. And of course, Kiki Kirin does what Kiki Kirin does best, and that is playing the kind of goofy, quirky old lady, I should say, who everyone just loves. And as I said earlier, the child actors, all three of them, from the one playing the older sister to the one playing the youngest daughter, like, everyone was great at what they did. But I felt the standout amongst the child performers was the youngest girl. I think the actress herself is only like 6 years old or something at the time that she made this movie, but her performance, you won't be able to tell that she's some kind of rookie performance. Like, it's just all natural, and it's adorable as all hell. And not only do the characters feel natural, but so does the story. The way events flow from one scene to the next, from one arc to the next arc, nothing seems forced. It feels like everything just naturally flows from one point to the next, and that's something I enjoy about not just this movie, but Kore-eda's movies in general. The story is multi-layered, just like the characters which inhabit it, and filled with nuances and also commentary about society, Japanese society. I think generally what Koreeda does in all his films is have a commentary on family. Basically, his story is beg the question, what exactly is a family? What makes a family? And I think that's something that is explored very interestingly enough in Shoplifters. I mean, the family that's featured in Shoplifters, it's not a normal family, but what we consider normal. I mean, they live in poverty, they thieve, and they steal, they extort, all to get by. But at the same time, they love each other like a real family would. And it's amazing when you actually see them in contrast to normal families in the story, ones of which have problems of domestic abuse or child abuse happening. Take the youngest daughter, Yuri. The family kind of kidnaps her and informally adopts her in a way, because they rescue her as she's freezing in front of her front door one winter night as the father and son are coming home from a day of stealing from the supermarket. They see her, they feel sorry for her, and they decide to take her home to have a nice hot dinner. But upon further inspecting her, and they find burn marks on her arm, and they realize that she's a victim of child abuse. So they decide not to bring her home, but instead to let her stay with the family. And of course, the girl, she is not against the idea. She actually loves being with the family, so she eventually becomes part of this family. And in the end, it seems like as far as having familial love, she's better off with this poor family of shoplifters than she is with her regular family of abusers. And all the family members, they have so much good chemistry with each other that you just love every single one of them. They're sympathetic. You really care what happens to them. Of course, by all definitions, these aren't the type of people that would be highly loved in a regular society. I mean, they steal. They're kind of like this is the kind of people that everyone would normally look down upon or call the police on. But you can't help but love this family of thieves, and on all their struggles, you want to cheer them on through their struggles as they extort money from relatives and all that stuff. As far as anything negative I have to say about Shoplifters, there's absolutely nothing. As I said before, I loved it from minute one. And overall, what did I think? It's something that everyone needs to watch. It's that good of a film. It's not my favorite Koreeda film by any means. I mean, I think my favorite Koreeda film has to be Like Father, Like Son. Nobody Knows was also a heavy hitter too, but Shoplifters is amazing and deserves a place though. And when I watched this movie in the theater, it was pretty much a packed house, and I think this movie it kind of resonates with Japanese audiences just because, from what I understand, there's a lot of connections between the story featured in Shoplifters and some major current events that have been hit in the news. There's been a current event about this young girl who was discovered dead because she was a victim of domestic abuse. Her parents, or I think her stepfather, will constantly physically beat her, and also at the same time demand that she practice her writing from very early in the morning, and put all these very unreasonable demands on this young girl. And it's like a grade schooler, like maybe it's nothing older than 6 or 7 years old. And I think because this kind of current event is very fresh in the minds of Japanese people, I feel like this movie is still doing very well, and I think will continue to do well for a while. And I've mentioned this before, but I'll say it again. With Korea's movies, there is that question, what makes a family? A family isn't always going to be a normal family you might see on posters or advertisements. You know, that's something I enjoy so much about Koreeda's movies, and he explores that question with many different kinds of situations in each of his films. And especially this one, you know, like I said, this family lives a life of poverty. They do all these things which are condemned by society, but at the same time, they seem very happy together. You know, and you know, even the mother, when she asks this question in the movie, you know, does every woman can every woman who gives birth to a child be seriously called a mother? And I think this kind of question, this kind of exploration can connect with pretty much any culture. You don't have to be Japanese or understand Japanese to understand the questions and ideas that are explored in this film. And if you're a fan of Koreeda's films, I say you feel right at home with this style of storytelling, with the familiar faces and the way things just flow from one situation to the next. But yes, those are my thoughts on Shoplifters. What did you guys think, or what kind of questions did you guys have? Let me know in the comment section below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. And please, by all means, support Asian Filmists on Patreon. It really helps the channel a lot. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you all again in the next video. Take it easy.